And now moving on to Malayalam film industry, Odiyan, the Mohanlal starrer, is undoubtedly one of the most awaited future projects, not just in Malayalam industry, but I think across India. In a recent interview, director V.A. Srikumar Menon has revealed some very interesting facts about Mohanlal's character. Now, Mohanlal's character is Odiyan Manikyan. As reported earlier, Manikyan is an Odiyan. Now this Odiyan is basically an adjective. So let's talk about it a little later. Now this Odiyan is an excellent athlete. He can run on all fours. He can jump higher than a normal person. And he could, interestingly, it's a very athletic kind of role. Odiyan Manikyan can see in the dark. He can crawl through mud like a reptile. The actor will be depicting the various stages of Manikyan's life. This is a movie that takes place from 1950s to almost 2000s. From a young guy to his 60s, that's where the movie is going to take the character of Odiyan. The movie which revolves around the black magic trick. Now, this black magic trick that was practiced is known as Odividya and is all set to hit the theatres now. In Kerala, in olden days, most Tharavadu, what families and clans' home, were spread over many acres. And they were stretched across hills. There were forest land and fields in between them. Area was dotted with traditional homes of the family and extended family. Each home would be situated in a splendid isolation, surrounded by vast tracts of wild land. Now, just imagine, there is only one clan living together, and then family members coexisted happily with domesticated animals like cows, goats and hens. It was a safe environment. As long as one stayed close to the homestead and the farm and did not venture out after dark, they were very safe because you could actually, it was a very enclosed kind of a place. This was drummed into every children's head that you do not have to venture out after dark. It's very risky, because then you could meet a wild animal, or worse, a paranormal animal like the Yakshi or the Odiyan. Malayali folklore is replete with dark elements that can make your blood run cold. The Yakshi, Chattan, Kutti Chattan, Gandharvan and Marutha have featured prominently in their grandfather's tales. The most popular of these characters, in anybody's opinion, was the Odiyan. Now, what was Odiyan? Odiyan was the word used to describe people who practiced a dark black magic trick called Odividya. Now, this allowed them to change form. They were shape shifters. This is what Mohanlal's character is going to be. The Odiyans, known for their physical prowess, were the product of a vicious caste system, black magic and thirst for power. The members of the Panan, Parayan, Pulayan and Velan communities were the ones who often were accused of becoming Odiyans. They were poor, they were uneducated, and they were downtrodden. They made ends meet by making brooms, by making mats, by making umbrellas, and by making dustpans. These were the people who dried coconuts and they kept selling it to wealthier upper caste folks in the community. Odividya was usually practiced by the upper caste men, and they used a potion and black magic to turn a man from one of the above downtrodden communities into an Odiyan. Now, what was the purpose of this Odiyan? A magical hired gun. That's what they were. They would do their bidding, which usually involved the murder of a rival Theravadu or family member. The legend goes that this method of preparing the potion was a secret that was held by upper caste folks. It was an appalling yet important ingredient in the making of Odiyan Marinu, according to the stories handed down, is that of an unborn fetus. Pregnant women were lured from their homes and their fetuses were stolen. The women would then make their way back home. The next morning, she would be found lying peacefully in her bed without any injuries whatsoever, but stone cold dead. As a result of these fears and beliefs, pregnant women were not allowed to travel alone and forbidden even sometimes to step out of their homes after sunset, as the Odiyans only attacked when one was alone and usually in the dark. In Odividya, after the performance of some rituals, a pouch which contained the the word is marunu was placed behind the ear of the chosen man. This enabled the man to turn into an animal. The animal could be an ox, a buffalo, a fox, a dog, a wolf, or tree, or even an inanimate object like a wicker gate. These animals or things would, however, have an imperfection, like a missing tail, or a limb, or an eye. At the conclusion of the puja, the Odiyan would break a little stick which represented the intended victim's spine. The rituals were meant to literally break someone's spirit, not spine. Most of the victims died of sheer fright. The Odiyan, who was usually out only during the dark, could see clearly in the night. He also had the power of becoming invisible and to change his form as per his choice, as long as the Murunu pouch was behind his ears. The upper caste men would, however, never place the Murumu behind their own ears, because it was believed that the man who became an Odiyan would die very, very soon. Some believed that the Odiyan could revert back to his human form only when the upper caste men or their helpers would knock the Marumu pouch off, which was done with a stick from behind the Odiyan's ears. And that was very tough, because the Odiyan would be an animal too quick for somebody to actually do it. Rationalists believe that the legend of the Odiyan was created by thieves and murderers to scare away the people and to ensure their own reign in the dark. Whatever be it, Odiyan is an extremely interesting folklore, and we'll come to know more about it when we watch this movie, because I'm sure this movie has some very interesting things to tell us. I think watching this movie will be a learning experience for anyone in the north, because this is basically a retelling of a folk tale of the Malayalam history, and that will be something very interesting. I hope a film like this gets a wider audience than just the 2 or 3 languages in which it is releasing right now. I think it's releasing in Malayalam and in Telugu, and there is a chance that it might get released in Tamil as well, but no Hindi as yet. Let's hope it gets dubbed into Hindi as well. Not right now, but maybe in 6 months, maybe on YouTube, maybe on one of the streaming channels. But we'll love to see this movie in Hindi so that a wider audience can watch this movie and enjoy it. I'm Anupam, you're watching Today's, and I'll be back after a very, very short break. Please don't go anywhere.